doctor from Sweden who bringing in the plasma light. They use the light to creating intense pulse light. We need is to do something to improve human health and human disease that is become more and more complicated and difficult and very fine electron. They will have very high selective, destroying a very small change that very tiny in a pico scale or nano scale that would be not affect a giant big cell like that.
สวัสดีค่ะ Welcome to Thailand. Today I'm Chutsirimongkol as your host. Plasma medicine is an innovative and emerging field combining plasma physics, life science, and clinical medical. Use physical plasma for therapeutic applications based on sophisticated basic research on plasma tissue interaction. The first therapeutic applications involved healing, dermatology, and dentistry will be opened. Dr. Chanchai, Chutsirimongkol, and Thailand Center of Excellence in Physics has successfully used plasma peeling for acne treatment. It was the first time that plasma technology was used for medical purposes in Thailand. Thailand Today has with us today Dr. Chanchai Chutsirimongkol, Managing Director of Photobiocare Company Limited and Senior Physician Advisor at Pattaya International Hospital. He will tell us about plasma technology for skin treatment. I am honored to welcome Dr. Chanchai Chutsirimongkol, Managing Director, Photobiocare and Senior Physician Advisor, Pattaya International Hospital. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ
Welcome to Thailand today, sir.
Thank you very much for inviting me to join such a exciting information for the public.
Thank you. Well, today we will talk a very important topic on plasma. But plasma for people, we talk about television plasma. There's a lot of plasma.
Correct.
So what is, to let the audience know what we are talking about, what is plasma, sir?
So regarding the plasma subject, which is quite obvious surrounding us, but not many people have any idea what is it. But actually when we talking some things about matters, physical matter that exists in this universe, we understand that it exists commonly noticeable to us as three forms like solid. And when the energies become more, the solid melt into liquid. And the liquid, when energy is increasing, energized to, they will change their stage into we call the vapor or gas. This is normalized that we see commonly in like a water as an example. But once these matters that contain in various form has been energized to a certain stage, when the energy is activated too much, then they will change into the state of we call the fourth state, which we call plasma stage. When the plasma stage exists, it means that the molecules and atoms of matters that exist in the space in the air become ionized. It means that some of the charged particles, which we already know about electrons, inside the atom that circulate around, it's been pushing out by high energy. They move very fast, so they leave out of the orbits and become a free ions. And the free electron, we already know once the electron move, it was a current that moved. And that's why make the plasma a very exciting stage, where we can see that matters can be changed into a very small, invisible to our eye, into the form of ionizing gas. Human can create artificial plasma, but we commonly know some in the past like a whole hot plasma that we welding iron and metals together with a hot arch plasma. And in this case, it cannot be used for human. And now when we can control the amount of ionization and the heat generated inside the gas, then we have we call low temperature plasma. And when the low temperature plasma can be generated in the normal room air, we call atmospheric plasma room air. And it's low temperature or cold plasma. And when we discover that the plasma can be generated outside instead of in the chamber that normally been done before for the nanotechnology, creating new material. Now we can bring out the machine to generate the plasma in the room air, in the normal air with gas or non-gas of noble gas. And the temperature is controlled that it not create a thermal damage, non-specific to a living tissue, especially to human. So this is why we can use the element that released from the plasma energy to create a lot of change in the human being, especially concerning about the medical care and the health care.
Before we go to that, we would like you to know that the doctor who's sitting right here is a founder of the machine, some kind of a machine to be used with plasma. So why do you think to do that, sir?
Actually, it's a little bit of a strange story because as a medical doctor who do the medical service for almost 40 years, because I'm do all the surgery, medical care, and at the last few decades, 20 years ago, where I'm working in the hospital in Pattaya, where there's a lot of tourists, we have to make sure that our standard and expectation is reached to the expectation of the Western people, that we have the hospital have the high technology up to the trends of the Western standard and quality. Then this is much stressed by Dr. Sanya, who is my boss at that time, that we have to have something that the other people have, and we are the pioneer. So we have bring in few lasers at the beginning 20 years ago when we have first few laser in Thailand. I am the one who used that almost 20 years ago. And then later on I have the chance to meet the inventor from Sweden who bringing in the plasma light. They use the light to creating intense pulse light and with fluorescent, and at that it changed my life into interesting of the technology and invention until at the end 10 years ago I've been involved in the fields of skin aesthetic and beauty, which is a demands of Western people who have a lot of aging appearance and they want to come to Thailand to have fun, to have a good life, enjoy life, and also check up and do everything to make sure that they feel back healthy and check up something which is more difficult and very expensive in the country. And something that non-invasive can change their look, appearance when they go back. Some people, what you doing? You come back with a very nice look and feel healthy and feel happier. Wow, good. So that's why at the beginning, this is the legend that bring in a lot of people come to visit Thailand for holiday, enjoy life, relaxation, and get a good thing back to their country.
So tell me, Dr. Let me go a little deeper into that. It is plasma medicine.
Yes.
Why is it so important, apart from the beautifying?
Yeah, I think at the beginning, we have to understand that during the last few decades, there are a lot of change taking place so fast that people who cannot adapt or cannot catch up with the new change, they will be extinct. And business, technology, even a very giant one, can be disappear within few months or few years, as we can see. And the tendency that the technology have been breakthrough all the times, we searching and looking for the last decades. I have been involved in this area and I learned that there are some things that's quite astonishing, that simple things, not that high sophisticated technology can be developed, which at that time inspired me to try to invent some things from the know-how that I obtained from all these partners from the Western people who transfer the know-how of laser and all the medical equipment that we learned from them. And after that, we found out that there are some interesting technology that would be the emerging technology of the future, which is widely applicable and diversified into many fields. And then it's low tech, not too expensive, not too complicated, to make easy to operate and very friendly to ecology, because they create no waste or no hazardous. They use the energy, the real energy, to convert things into the natural ways, like change into energies in matter into the final delicate particles, and that particle will recombine to create new thing that create a new materials and new subject, a new substance that never exists before. That's why they develop a lot in the development in technology of the today. And now we found out that instead of do the industrial technology alone, people feel that it's just something that we need is to do something to improve human health and human disease that is become more and more complicated and difficult. Is there anything, new technology that emerging can solve this? And in Germany, Max Planck Institute, Leipzig Institute, and many countries in the West have discovered that this technology would be a new paradigm shift in the medical care, especially healthcare. It's not only the medical care, many things that can be developed. And they start to initiate the project we call Plasma Healthcare Project, and fund a lot by the government. And we follow them, and we learn that we can try to experiment and create our own generator and same concept, and then try our clinical evaluation test, and then confirm that this technology is really exists and it can be the future of medicine, new field of medicine that never happened before. And this plasma medicine occurred almost 8 years of society that we have been joined with them in Japan last year with the presentation of our study. And they accepted, wow, exciting, Thailand can do that too. Yes, we can. So that's why I think that we are laying down the first step in this foundation of this technology for health, which is one of the main target development of the Thailand policy to bring healthcare into one of the innovation technology for our business strategy.
So you are telling that with the bioplasma machine or treatment, it can also cure for defects on the face or what else? So what are the, apart from the beautified, so what can you do exactly? 1, 2, 3.
So besides that, number one, there are 3 main application that's been accepted as one of the fundamental application of this technology. Number one is the eradicating of microbial infection. We are already aware that the microbial world is become more and more strong and resistant to all the treatment that we use, and now we cannot find any new antibiotic to cure the disease. When you get sick in the hospital, especially in the ICU, and if you stay a long time, it means that your life is in danger because most of the people who cannot come out because the bacterial infection was so severe. So it's difficult. When you get infected, it means you have no hope. That's why we are searching for a new way to get rid of it. And this, it's been proved that plasma technology will be one of the answers. We do some tests and we confirm that it have a very important role in eradicating multi-drug resistant and very resistive bacteria. And this is number one, is eradicating microbial infection, microterror, bioterrors. All of these are things that can be application. Number two, we discover that it also can help the medical direct treatment of many diseases, and we have been trying experiment in such as the surface skin treatment of various things like infection of the skin, acne, changing skin people of the oily skin production, remitted or eliminating the P. acne bacteria, which is a causative factor of acne, and we are also able to treat the fungus infection and eczema, chronic atopic dermatitis. We also improve the aesthetic skin improvement of color, texture, and skin surface property, enhancing absorption and synergistic action of herbal product, which is done by the Apai Phubet and Burapha University, combined with the original herbal product, combined with the technology, seen that there is a very effective match with these two technology. And we also discover that it can be used for infectious disease like wounding infection, burn, or chronic wound bed sore. Crippled people who bedridden, they tend to have infected wound and difficult to heal, and it causes a lot of economic and health burden. Universities in Mahidol University, Sirirat, under Professor Pilak, the plastic department has, the surgery department had joined us, support by the T cells to grant the project and it proved from 50 case study that it helped significant improvement of the chronic unhealed wound, improve, eradicate bacteria, reducing oozing, promoting healing, and epithelial closure of the wound is faster and better than the non-treated one.
Really? But one thing I should like to inform to the people, is there any side effects on this or risky on this plasma medicine?
Yeah, since this one is really number one, we are talking about it's an energy form. We don't left with a residual or toxic product in the body. And second one, the gaps and range of safety of this technology. If we can control the heat that is in the range of a normal ambient temperature, because the plasma that we make is generated in the very low temperature, almost not changing the environmental air.
Okay.
And then, but when they hit the target, they transfer the energy, kinetic energy, into heat, and very fine electron. They will have very high selective, destroying a very small change that very tiny in a pico scale or nano scale. That would be not affect a giant big cell like us, a membrane cell, which is much bigger. So the safety range is quite good. So we can have various effects, which is studied by Drexel University, that the dose can be no effect to human tissue or human cell, destroy all the bacteria without creating any change, or you can increase dose and duration of treatment so that it can help regenerating, stimulating, because it partially injure the tissue and trigger the signal for cell to adapt to promote the regenerative healing. This is the second stage. When you go a little bit more, they induce certain cells like apoptosis program of the unhealthy cell or even tumor cell. Cancer cell is being induced to create selective damage. We call apoptosis. It's when they shrink without bursting or causing inflammatory reaction like a conventional radiation or a very high energy therapy that we use in the chemotherapy. This one is a new paradigm interest. And then Sirirat are now expecting to do the clinical confirmation for evaluation of application in cancer, what we want to do, collaborate with it, with some grant. I don't know, but we try to support
Very important step. Anyway.
Yeah, and then this is the first step. When the dose is very high, that normal cell or tumor cell, any cells, they can create because coagulation, tissue dead, all dead.
Yeah.
So you can control the range. The range is quite wide.
Yeah.
Good.
So what you have brought so many. This is supposed to be award or a certificate. So what is it actually, Doctor? Is on in the language? Is a foreign language.
Yeah. So this is some of the example that before the Asian market emerged, we have already have connection with a lot of people in the business. And this is one of the example in Hong Kong. Friend of us. Been interested after we present our work with Professor Niwat and Dr. Cheshri from India in Hong Kong. A lot of people follow up and say, "Why? What you doing this?" And then after that, they become one of our customer, import and then sell this a lot in Hong Kong and other countries. And we have been expanding our sale at that time when we start to do the business for the skin tightening, facial contouring, surface rejuvenation of the skin. At that time, we start the business exporting our product to many Asian countries and even to certain areas like Australia or America too.
Very interesting.
And that's why it's but the technology is 10 years ago is now not very much in interest. But new technology emerging like plasma would be one of the interesting thing that people are looking for.
Yeah, very well. People are looking for, but where are they looking for? Because when they are in Thailand, so where are the places that if they're interested to have it done or try on it?
Yes, we have some of the pioneer doctors and institute that have been interested. Mostly are close friends who trust us, and then we bring them the device, and they found out. One of the few pioneer I would mention. Is number one that inspired me to do is Professor Niwat Pornikon. He now is the director of Chivasom Niranda Clinic Medical Spa in Hua Hin. Also the directors of Kalinrat Aesthetic Center. He also helped me to confirm that this is good. And Dr. Jeshri Charat in India, she is Vice President of the Indian Cosmetic Dermatology. She also confirmed that the technology is worked. And the other one is Dr. Sathaporn. He also helping me confirm that this technology seems to be very promising. And that's why it inspired me to move on in this. And not only these three places. There are many young doctors who have beginning to begin the business and they have no money to buy a very expensive one. They say, wow, this is good. How much? Oh, it's good price. Work, no side effect. And try. After they try, they buy. Few of this, like some of Dr. Puttisak in Chanchai and Chanchai Hospital. But many hospitals have been...
Layman shouldn't buy this machine. We cannot do by ourselves, right?
Yeah. I think the technology is been generated into many type of device. One device is full option, surgical, and then plasma jet, many complicated functions, which I think require a basic understanding of medical practice, have medical background. I think this type of machine we will design for the professional people. But the other things that I have in my idea is that when we want to move the country economic driven with the medical tourism or health care, health service business, there should be something that easy, simple, safe, effective, and not very difficult to use, friendly, and learning curve should be short and have ability to evaluate, indicate that who is certified, who is qualified to become the service provider, which I think this technology seems to be very simple, easy, and not too expensive. So I think, in my opinion, I would like this technology to be widely spread to our normal people that willing to learn in a short time and then really to go to the process of examination, certification, so we can have all of these frontline people in the field for service business, for medical tourism, scattering around and certified by certain body that this is the people who we already exam and pass all of this, and they can use the machine with certain indication and certain limit. But the complicated one, they can refer to a doctor, to a center. If we can create such a system and cooperate with many institute or many organizations like TG or some other company to join hand to create medical tourism as one of the outlet of medical service, so that people come here not only relax, enjoy, but they also go back with beautiful look, rejuvenating their look, their body, their mind, their health, and their spirit, and they feel happy, go back home with something good back home, clean body, clean mind, and very clean things in their body. This is my idea.
Yeah, this is the resolution of a doctor who in Chanchai who take care of this, and so you may go back home with a new person. Maybe people at home will say, what's happening when you visit Thailand? Correct. So, thank you very much, Doctor, for being here. But, we're looking forward to see you again.
I hope.
And we definitely, because this plasma business is something Thailand needed for the rest of the world, for the good view that you have. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for your support.
Thailand Today would like to thank Dr. Chanchai Chutsirimongkol, Managing Director of Photo Biocare Company Limited and Senior Physician Advisor at Pattaya International Hospital. We have heard him telling us that there is now a relatively safe and low-cost skin treatment in town to heal acne and skin wounds. A wonderful news. Thank you for watching Thailand Today. I'm Kusuma Yotha Samut. Hope to see you again tomorrow. Swadika.